One Zambia, one nation. Hello and welcome to the news. I am your presenter, Henry Himonde. A look at the top stories. Commercial banks urged to support agriculture sector. Government to construct more airports. 21 women undergo fistula operations. And ZRA empowers ex-inmates. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has called on commercial banks to provide financing to the agriculture sector. President Hichilema says financing is critical to boosting productivity and food production in the country. The head of state said Zambia has the potential to produce up to 10 million tons of maize per year. Lakson Makoza reports that the president said this when he met chief executives of commercial banks at State House.
President Hakainde Hichilema today held a fruitful engagement with executives from commercial banks. The meeting centered on the need for banks to provide predetermined lending costs to the farming community. President Hichilema noted that with adequate financing, Zambia can produce up to 10 million tons of maize per year.
This country can increase to 10 million tons of maize in a short space of time. But to do that, we need things such as to increase productivity. Productivity levels are too low. 2.83 tons per hectare, too low. But a farmer in Pongo is doing 9 tons per hectare in the same country. So we should look at how do we increase productivity. Of course, precision irrigation comes in. To irrigate, we need to water harvest. We need mechanization. We need crop or husbandry, let's call it that, management. We need finance into this sector. That's why you're here.
And commenting on the credit window scheme, President Hichilema stated that government wants to work with the banks in actualizing the credit window initiative. He said it is the government's desire to use the credit window scheme to boost food production in the country.
We would like to work with you on what we are calling the agricultural credit window, to work alongside FISIP, and I don't want to spend too much time on FISIP, but this agricultural credit window must overwhelm the FISIP window. And we would like this agricultural window to be managed by yourselves, because you know how to lend. You know your KYCs, but to lend at a predetermined term sheet, cost of that money in particular.
Meanwhile, the banking sector has assured the head of state of their commitment to work with government in growing the country's agriculture sector.
And I must just say that so far 5 banks have signed up, and we are just finalizing our logistics with Ministry of Agriculture. However, I must say that all the 5 banks have committed to supporting the credit window. And these banks are Zanaco, Atlas Mara, NatSev, Indo-Zambia Bank, as well as ABSA Bank. So that's Zanaco, Atlas Mara, NatSev, Indo-Zambia Bank, as well as ABSA Bank. That said, Mr. President, all the banks represented here have expressed interest to be part of the window.
The step taken by government to engage commercial banks is commendable, as banks are critical stakeholders in the thriving of the agricultural sector. For Zanis, I am Lakson Makoza.
Now, the construction of Sesheke Trades Training Institute in Western Province has been completed and is expected to be commissioned by President Hakainde Hichilema. The commissioning of the training institute has cheered the youth who have enrolled for various skills training at the center. Mijelo Lubinda is in Sesheke and now reports.
I'm happy because this is the opportunity that I got from the government, and I'm going to utilize it well for the benefits of not only me, but the whole Sesheke.
After I've graduated, so I think it will be one of our biggest opportunities by which, since government knows us through this institution that has been opened, it will be easier for us to be called if they will have to build a facility. I think they can just call us because we always be available unless we're doing other things.
These are some of the youths enrolled at the Sesheke Trades Training Institute in Sesheke district of Western Province. The construction works at the center started in 2015 at an initial cost of 21 million kwacha. The district administration is happy that the facility has finally been completed.
The component of bursary is meant to empower the youths of the district, not only the youths, and the vulnerable groups of the society, so that they can enhance their education and skills. So you can see the reason why, as the district, we have been wanting to have that institute commissioned. For your information, Madam, we have started enrollment for the same facility.
With increased constituency development fund allocation, the district administration is optimistic that the institute will create opportunities for the young people to enhance their education levels.
Of late, what has been the culture is most of our learners from the district have been going for skills from other districts, meaning that the component of CDF for bursaries was not being utilized in the district but was being paid to other districts. So you can see the economic factor for the district.
It is hoped that once empowered with skills, the youths in Sesheke will be given an opportunity to bid for projects under the CDF. Michelle Lubinda for Zanis in Sesheke District, Western Province.
Still on education, Lukasha Trades Training Institute in Northern Province has rehabilitated over 1,200 desks for the Ministry of Education. Institute Principal Kefas Chitosho says the institution has ensured that it delivers good quality desks. Helen Walia now reports.
Providing a conducive learning environment is crucial in promoting academic success for the pupils. This is why government has remained resolute in ensuring that pupils in all public schools are provided with desks. In Northern Province, government engaged Lukasha Trades Training Institute to rehabilitate damaged desks, and the institution principal, Kefas Chitasho, says over 1,200 desks have so far been worked on.
So far, we have rehabilitated 1,250. The remaining balance is 3,455. We have delayed a bit in completing the project because of delays in procurement process. Whatever we are doing, we have to buy through the electronic government procurement, which is not being accessed by our local suppliers. They are taking too long. Some don't even know how to go about it.
Mr. Chitasho says the institution has also been offering employment opportunities in various departments to some of its former students.
A good number of our students, those who are doing carpentry and general agriculture, we've brought them back to do some jobs within the college. Some students are involved in rehabilitation of desks.
Shadrick Sinyangwe, a beneficiary of the Skills Development Bursary under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, having trained in carpentry, is among former students that have been engaged by the institution to help rehabilitate the desks for the Ministry of Education.
I'm a former student at this institution. Yes, I've been employed as a worker with 3 Pangama desks. If you never to apply, I was under CDF.
Ndeko sechako kuli momweba mwema youth banandi. Kuti wasa chitako fena 3 months. So chabe changu kako wakwata ko skill. Kushira udepepa bafwaka no kudashitefya abipa.
Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Kasama, Northern Province.
And in Southern Province, Nagenya Primary School in Jigankata District is one of the schools benefiting from the construction of classroom blocks using Constituency Development Fund. Chikankata Member of Parliament Jacqueline Sabao says she is impressed with the quality of work being undertaken. More in this report.
Chikankata Member of Parliament Jacqueline Sabao has continued monitoring projects being implemented in her constituency. This time, the MP was again in Chakanza ward to check on the ongoing construction works of a 1x2 classroom block at Nakenya Primary School. Here, the contractor assured the MP of completing the works on schedule.
Kambwa bubese motuberega batupa mali tatubwezi malias bikauti salary yasu yagoba bulasi so mali wants to abikauti babuta nchito ebalige babika kugula material.
And the Member of Parliament was impressed with the workmanship.
I'm very much impressed comparing to other projects within the district. I was here in August and there was no foundation. And this is almost 2 months since I came here. And the structures here is at loafing level. It means that the contractor has an interest of developing this constituency. And we need such contractors as people of Chikankata so that there is value for money. And we're using this project, I'm seeing value for money for this country.
The construction of a 1x2 classroom block being constructed using Constituency Development Fund has elated Nakenya residents.
Bemupindiri chikubalomba yakupati kutipa bayume kutalimi chimanine kungaombera kamba kuti watutwankira kuyenda na utija tali yakuya kwa alimi chonka kumamanini so ndila balomba kapati kuti kapati jatanguzo maluta tujimanini chikolo cha santoma no hulumende alo ndipa janzalika kuti kambo yajuba kuketera chikolo cha ine ndio unoona Kenya alo ndipa kulumba kupati so ndili lombotiki chituzumana ani mukwa kumpira kuti kichitani kitu chiungira chimbaji ndi chikolo cha pita.
After touring the school project, Ms. Sabao flagged off the Jacqueline Sabao football tournament.
Next year, what did you say? Yaguba ma tournament mpuliaya, twagumania end of year, twaguba district tournament jatajigan katayonse. And I've changed my strategy. My bola yatanagui twi Jacqueline Sabao. But next year, ndiagusala one of the former MPs bagalera mujigan kata. Ngutu yaguteya area bola. Tadide jibo twejo. Tulijisima MPs bagaligo before mebo. So ndiagusala MP omwe next year. 2025 aro ndiagusala MP omwe ngutu yagurwa nina bola.
Zanis reports in Chikankata district of Southern Province.
We now take a break, and when we come back, government to construct airports in provinces. Stay tuned.
The Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, will hold the 44th policy organ meetings at Mulungushi International Conference Center, Lusaka. They include the 44th COMESA Intergovernmental Committee and the 44th Council of Ministers meeting. The meetings will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of November 2023. The theme for this year is Economic Integration for a Thriving COMESA, anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Over 400 delegates from the 21 COMESA member states are expected to attend the COMESA policy organ meeting in Lusaka. This advert is brought to you by the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA.
The news continues. Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali says government is committed to improving and uplifting the standard of domestic airports in the country. Mr. Tayali has disclosed that the ministry plans to construct airports in all the provinces across the country. The minister was speaking when he toured the newly refurbished Kenneth Kaunda International Airport Terminal 1 and the newly constructed hotel. Audrey Kalenga accompanied the minister and now reports.
Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali has today toured the newly refurbished Kenneth Kaunda International Airport domestic terminal. Mr. Tayali also toured the newly constructed airport hotel, which is 90% complete, and expressed happiness with the works.
I'm happy that the contractor has done a good job in terms of, basically upgrading the entire space. Now, I must say that what improvements you've seen, especially in the construction of the new terminal, adds to what is part of Zambia's external debt.
And Mr. Tayali says government is working tirelessly to improve the face of all domestic airports across the country in order to make Zambia a transport and logistics hub in the region.
Tend to construct provincial airports everywhere. We're actually planning that in future we should also have airports in the districts, because what we want is really to promote commerce and trade and to promote the ease of movement of both our people as well as our visitors. You all know that very soon, as soon as perhaps next week, we may be ready to open Kasama Airport, and that those problems we've been facing of trying to figure out how we can get to Kasama, which is taking people close to 15 hours driving from Lusaka, will be a thing of the past. That in just 1 hour and 20 minutes you can fly from Lusaka into Kasama. We would like to do that in the various other provinces.
Harriet Angetile is Zambia Airport's manager, and she explains the major innovations that have been done at the domestic terminal.
Other issue that we still have is the PA system as well. So you find that when you are boarding, you have to literally send someone through to go or push the passengers down. But otherwise, it's a lot better than it was, and I think we'll speak to the details as we go through. So on average, we are handling about 30 flights per day. So domestic is actually very busy, more busy than international. Only that the numbers may be fewer and the revenue cannot equate international. But in terms of passengers,
Zambia Airports Corporation Acting Managing Director Gillian Mazimba says the corporation has seen an increase in the number of domestic travelers after the development at the terminal.
Allowing passengers to come through, and the scaling down of the COVID activities has really improved on the passenger numbers coming through. So basically people are traveling in, we have more people traveling than people driving on the roads. Yeah.
Audrey Kalenga, Zanis News, Lusaka.
Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mwetwa says government is ready to dialogue with the Catholic bishops over concerns raised in the pastoral letter. Mr. Mwetwa says government values and respects all churches in the country and beyond, saying it is prudent to dialogue. He indicated that issues raised by the Catholic bishops are of serious concern. The minister said this during a press briefing at his office in Lusaka. Mr. Mwetwa says government will continue maintaining an open door policy, at the same time dialogue with different stakeholders, including Catholic bishops.
The government, Republic of Zambia, has elected to engage the Catholic bishops over the concerns they raised in a round-table dialogue. The government is of the view that such dialogue would provide favorable platform to talk to each other in order to build national consensus on the national matters that were raised in the pastoral letter by the Catholic bishops, rather than talking over each other through the media. The government also notes that the Catholic bishops raised concerns without prescribing possible and probable solutions. It is our expectation that for them, having acknowledged the challenges they raised in the pastoral letter, they could have some probable solutions to the same, and therefore only a dialogue provides an opportunity for government to learn more from the Catholic bishops, particularly as to the solutions they envisage that could be prescribed for some of the challenges that they raised.
The Drug Enforcement Commission has launched 3 operational speedboats to control criminal activities on water bodies in some parts of the country. DEC Director General Nason Banda says the boats will be used to control cases of illegal wildlife trade, drug and human trafficking, and other related border crimes. Brandina Lambwe now gives us this story.
Drug Enforcement Commission (DEC) Director General Nason Banda has commissioned the 3 operational speedboats which will be used to fight crimes on the water bodies. Speaking during the launch of the speedboats at Lake Kariba in Siavonga district, the DEC chief stressed the need and the importance of tightening security on water bodies as they were being used as transit channels for crime activities.
To welcome you all to the official launch of the Drug Enforcement Commission's operational boats here in Siavonga. The launch of the boats is a significant milestone in the operational capability and preparedness of the Commission. As you might be aware, ladies and gentlemen, though Zambia is a landlocked country, it shares borders with several countries, and some of our national boundaries run across lakes and rivers, which in most cases are not manned or patrolled by law enforcement. These water bodies, while a source of livelihoods to our people, mostly in form of fishing, are also used by organized criminal networks as channels for drug trafficking and related cross-border crimes, such as trafficking in persons and the illegal wildlife trade. Ladies and gentlemen, crime, especially organized crime, has no regard for national boundaries, in that organized criminal networks who oftentimes have tentacles in various jurisdictions to perpetuate their nefarious activities. Drugs produced in a neighboring country may find their way into the Republic by crossing over land and even water boundaries.
And speaking at the same event, Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jacopo expressed gratitude for the gesture and appealed to Siavonga residents to cooperate with the DEC officers as their job is to benefit the community.
Criminals that commit offenses in Lusaka, they will come there. Make sure that in Siavonga there is sanity. No more illegal activities, drug trafficking, human trafficking. And as the DJ has put it, let this boat be used for the intended purpose. Let sanity prevail in Siavonga, in the islands. We want islands to be free from all sorts of illegal activities.
Brandina Lambwe, Zanis, Siavonga District, Southern Province.
Now, Director Spokesperson in the Ministry of Information and Media, Henry Kapata, says he is impressed with the way youths in rural areas are utilizing the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Mr. Kapata is on a tour of CDF projects in Chinga Province, where he visited Fares Bakery, a youth-owned enterprise in Mpika District. Peggy Gutinyu has the rest of the story.
He has toured various government projects in Mpika District. Director and spokesperson under the Ministry of Information and Media, Henry Kapata, is happy that the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, is well utilized by young people in rural parts of the country. Mr. Kapata was speaking when he visited Pare's Bakery, a project owned by young people in Kamanya Township.
CDF is something that is there to live, and the youth must take advantage of it. We have seen where the council have been engaging contractors to manufacture desks. We have seen youths supplying desks to debs. We have seen youths rearing chickens. We have seen, especially in the rural setup. But what really perplexes me is the youths in Lusaka. I am not saying they are all bad. So I think this is a good testimony of what is happening in the rural setup, that the youths in the rural setup are well organized.
So kukosereshanga bayuthi bano sinabena bayeshako kuchita kufya apply limbi mwaberalesa kuti babasukana bena babapera kwefya kuchokutira bale no fifima bolo bale pipa na fifa.
And Mpika District Commissioner David Siame has commended government for the projects that have brought about change in the lives of community members.
So this has brought a lot of happiness
to the members of the community, because now they are able to make savings. The money that were spending on attending to the needs of children, that is being done by government.
Walipokele booster loan ama 2,000 kwachi. Ona yali bombele mwandili yali kuwafile. Weba shakwete pa kumoko.
Peggy Coutinho for Zanis in Mpika, Muchinga Province.
In health news, a combined team of obstetrician gynecologists and fistula surgeons have successfully conducted major fistula surgeries on 21 women in Lumwana at Lumwana Hospital in Northwestern Province. The fistula repair camp is being sponsored by the United Nations Population Fund in collaboration with the Fistula Foundation. Here is Ahmed Hajilonde with the rest of the story.
Obstetric fistula is caused by a childbirth injury that results in the inability to control urination, leading to various social consequences for affected women, such as divorce and loss of social support. Dr. Goshon Kasanda is the team leader of obstetric fistula doctors conducting fistula repairs at Rumana First Level 1 Hospital in Kalumbira district of Northwestern Province.
These are patients who suffered childbirth injuries and end up leaking urine and sometimes feces after delivery. This is the condition that we are actually talking about. In Northwestern Province, I think the problem is still quite big.
Northwestern Provincial Health Director Dr. Lakson Chidikita advised midwives.
We need to be very assertive and very alert when we're managing our mothers that come in labor, because it's a direct complication of labor that is not managed on time.
Margaret Ntambo, a fistula patient, thanked the government for the initiative. So government a nurse on duty at Rumana First Level 1 Hospital, Florence Mchashimbi, is optimistic that the women will be discharged within 14 days.
So far they are doing well, and we hope that by the end of 2 weeks all of them will be able to be discharged and will be fit again, because we had a team last June and they were discharged. The cure rate was very good.
Northwestern Provincial Health Director Dr. Lakson Chidikita also attended to a 72-hour-old baby who was born with malaria. Reporting for Zanis in Kalumbira District, Northwestern Province, I am Hemit Hachilonde.
And now the rest of the news. The Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, has handed over a fully functional poultry business project worth over 815,000 kwacha to 2 cooperatives of former inmates. Zambia Revenue Authority Commissioner General Dingani Banda says the donation is aimed at empowering ex-inmates with survival means as they reintegrate into society. Here are the details.
Former inmates are often faced with challenges to find employment and secure a consistent source of income as they reintegrate back to society due to social stigma that comes with the criminal record. It is for this reason that the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, has donated a poultry business project to 2 cooperatives of former inmates, namely the Lusaka Central Cooperative and Zambia Ex-Prisoners Multipurpose Cooperative.
Former inmates encounter challenges when attempting to reintegrate into society after serving their sentences. Many lose everything they once had and struggle to find a fresh start, especially economically. We, as Zambia Revenue Authority, share this grief with the former inmates, and we are committed to contributing to changing the narrative. Our partnership with the Zambia Correction Service on this poultry business is one example of the commitment to empower the former inmates for their better livelihood and fresh start.
And the Zambia Correctional Service Commissioner General, Fred Chulukuta, has called on various stakeholders to come on board and support former inmates with opportunities that will help them regain their financial stability.
The Commissioner General
and his team. We have gone out to involve everybody in society to saying reformation of inmates or indeed prisoners is not a job of the correctional services alone. It's a responsibility of all of us, realizing also that prisoners come from people and they go back to people. What kind of people do we want to come back to us? This is a demonstration that we are doing today. We want people that will be responsible, that will contribute to a well-being society. A society that will be free of criminals. In that way, then we'll all thrive because our society will be secure.
Meanwhile, Zambia Ex-Prisoners Multipurpose Cooperative Board Secretary Catherine Gomeka expressed gratitude to Zambia Revenue Authority for the gesture.
Notably seen that life after incarceration tends to be challenging in various ways, ranging from financial strain, rejection, name-calling, to mention but a few. And if not handled with an upright heart, some people tend to reoffend. But with this immense support that ZRA has shown us through Zambia Correction Service, ZCS, by funding us the pottery business, it will keep our members busy and get financial easiness at the end of it all, hence contributing to the fight against reoffending and also a positive reintegration into the society.
The Zambia Ex-Prisoners Multipurpose Cooperative and Lusaka Central Cooperative are being run under the supervision of the Zambia Correctional Service. Miles Kawengo, for Zanis, in Chibombo District, Central Province.
And now to Luapula Province, where a farmer in Kawambwa District, Mark Katongo, has commended government for the financial empowerment received under the Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development Tralad project. Mr. Katongo, a smallholder poultry farmer, was empowered with 15,000 kwacha from the Tralad project, which has enabled him to grow his business. Lewis Changwe now reports.
With the adverse effects of climate change, there is need for farmers to practice climate-smart agriculture. In Kawambwa District, the Transforming Landscapes for Resilience and Development (TRARAD) project has supported a number of farmers in areas such as fish farming, piggery, poultry, and beekeeping, among others. Mark Katongo is one of the success farmer champions who was empowered with 15,000 kwacha from the TRARAD project.
I started my project with only 12 beds. From there, I applied from TRARAD. Then they gave me a certain amount of money. I bought 30 beds. At present, I am now having 54 beds.
However, Mr. Katongo has an appeal to make.
I want to appeal to the TRARAD if they can also assist other members of the community as they did it to me.
Meanwhile, Agriculture Farm Management Officer Noah Chiona, who also sits on the TRARAD committee, has a word of advice to the farmers.
Started with a few chickens, but now has got more than 50. And there's also an improved poultry house, and he's also extending the poultry house. We can also encourage others maybe to emulate what Mr. Katongo is doing.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Kawambwa, Luapula Province.
In Eastern Province, effects of climate change have continued to affect the agriculture sector, leading to low crop yields. To mitigate the impact, the Department of Agriculture in Kasenengwa District, in conjunction with Total Land Care, organized a field day to sensitize farmers on best farming methods and good seed varieties. We have more in this report by Mutinta Mwimba.
Climate change has continued to exhibit its effects on the agriculture sector. Flooding and droughts leading to low yields are some of the major effects on the local people. The promotion of sustainable ways of farming is needed to enhance production and productivity. To caution this, the Minister of Agriculture in Kasenengwa district, working together with Total Land Care, organized the seed fair to educate farmers on modern farming techniques and seed varieties that are drought resistant. District Commissioner Rachel Piri graced the occasion.
The main objective of the seed fair under the AID project is to introduce new seed varieties that are high yielding, climate resilient, have high nutritional value, and adaptable amongst the farming communities. Specific objectives include: 1. Making new seed varieties available to the farming communities.
Seed companies were also on hand, explaining how farmers can improve production.
We say it starts with the right seed, and we are going to give you the certified seed which will suit your agriculture soils, which will suit the yield which you want as per year calculated for.
We have like 601 called Vulangila. This Vulangila is a medium variety, 125 days. So the goodness of this seed, looking at the climate change, this one is drought resistance, and also in terms of weevils, it's hard.
An agronomist from Total Land Care explains the idea behind the fair.
I think you're aware that the farmer, no matter what he does, if you then grow good seed, then you plant good seed, you would have that. So we want farmers to start growing seed, planting seed which is of good quality, so that you also get good yields.
The Seed and Investment Linkage Fair was held under the theme Economic Growth Through Sustainable Innovations. Mutinta Mwemba reporting for Zanis in Kasenengwa District, Eastern Province.
Now, some restaurant owners in Gwembe District have bemoaned the outbreak of anthrax, which has negatively affected their businesses. Malama Chitakwa, a restaurant owner in Gwembe's Central Business District, says the outbreak of the disease is discouraging many people from eating meat. Cholwe Hanene now reports.
Some restaurant owners in Gwembe Township have lamented that the outbreak of anthrax has resulted in low demand of both beef products and goat meat. Electa Shiripa, a restaurant owner, says the anthrax outbreak has affected her restaurant, for it is from the same business her family is fed and also her children's school needs are earned.
Business ndio tujita mlini sio no tujiga net business ndio tusanina bana ndio tuyihira bana so twedeti kwa bambirwa hinyama kuhamba na uti otujibwa utiani kuno sanina bana bisa kutola bana bisujugo.
Another restaurant owner, Malama Chitakwa, also affected with a similar deficit, pleads to the government through the veterinary office to find treatment for the spreading disease, for a good number of her customers prefer beef and goat meat.
Customers vajita reduce kambo agrozo kambo tujisamba limpongo angombe so ya uri ya issue ya ba affected kuonya mlesa ndota usambala issue ni hondo kuonya abantu banji baandanya manje nyonjire kamati so watu aba affected tulomba uti ba government bahambane kuyisiriga na batanda la vaccine ya wita vaccinate bantu njoba hii andaole ya usiriga bulwazo utugwaire utegwaso wa marketeers bala ama restaurant tota usambala ya uri yesu kwa jana wa customers banji.
Shuri Hajini reporting in Gwembe District, Southern Province.
And finally, Kafue District Education Board Secretary Belina Mono has urged youths to take advantage of opportunities that are available to better their lives. Ms. Mono said this at the Adolescent and Young People's Conference in Kafue District, organized by Adaptive Leadership Zambia. Irene Nganga covered the event and brought us this report.
Adaptive Leadership Zambia, a non-governmental organization aimed at reducing new HIV infections among young people, has organized a one-day conference for youths in Kafue District. The conference was held under the theme Healthy Choices, Bright Futures. Kafue District Education Board Secretary Belina Mono called on the youth to make informed decisions in order to have a bright future.
It is our responsibility, therefore, to provide them with tools, knowledge, and encouragement they need conference serves as a platform for dialogue, education, and inspiration, and I commend the Adaptive Leadership Zambia team for hosting their first ever AYP conference and their dedication to empowering young people.
Adaptive Leadership Zambia director expressed concern at the high rate of HIV infections among the youths in the country.
We have noted here in Kafue that the HIV infections that are being reported are mostly amongst the adolescents. So this is the essence why we thought of targeting this group so that we can prevent the future, just like our theme states.
And the youth representative said young people engage in bad behavior such as alcohol and drug abuse because of the gender-based violence they are exposed to in their homes.
Getting about maybe drug abuse or substance abuse. And then I come back to reason, yamele sama mwela mobile or some drugs. Wow, swankala munchi. Batake wake, amakondo, menyana bonzi, and then amankala distinct. So just to concentrate with the machita, and then some amankala violent, amankala chena paizi. Yabankala chena zero zero kamba vista ignore.
Irene Nganga, Zanis, Kafue.
Well, Irene Nganga's report brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, another look at the headlines. Commercial banks urged to support agriculture sector. Government to construct more airports. 21 women undergo fistula operations. And ZRA empowers ex-inmates. Thank you so much for watching the news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Until next time, it's goodbye.